connecting. And we're on. That wasn't bad, guys. We managed to quote about 5 different things within the space of 5 minutes. So that was a personal record for this group.
The viewers will never
all off
watch.
stream. Now we need to repeat it so that all of your audience know what we talk about.
Postman Pat, Fireman Sam, apparently.
And Pingu.
Coming to you this summer, Alien vs. Pingu.
Oh, Pingu would totally win.
Not if the soup dragon has anything to do with it.
Just chucking the clangers for good measure.
Dear Lord.
That could be the twist for Pingu's The Thing. It could all become from the Clangers Moon.
Wow, we've gone into quite an interesting world in just the space of a minute. Marvellous. Well then, while folks are logging themselves in, and those who want to can tie themselves into Sirenscape, I am just going to close off the ship rumble, turn off the intro music, and take us into the video with something of a heavy heart. Everybody, give the old gal her due. Here we go, the intro video. Say farewell to the Akira Navis.
Bon voyage.
There she is.
Are they scrapping her?
All will be made evident. And yes, I know I'm talking over the intro video, but hey.
It's alright.
It's alright. Alex coughs normally on every intro video.
That's true. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Don't cry, I'm failed.
I failed. She's off. Well, a tearful hello to everybody. And no, we're not. This isn't the last episode. Don't get worried about that. But after the last episode, the Navis took a severe beating, and then some, to the point where the crew have pretty much amongst themselves agreed that she's been far too banged up to do her duty and protect the Shackleton Expanse and all of that. So today, we're doing something a little different. And that is, we're making a brand new starship.
Dun dun dun.
So, those folks who are watching, and those folks who are not, if you care to follow me over to the Utopia Planetia shipyards. So, yes, if we are going to be replacing the Navis with the Navis-A in order to make sure that the Shackleton Expanse can still be explored and that the enemies of the Federation and freedom and justice and all of that can actually be protected, we're going to need to bring a new ship in, and that's what we're going to do today. So, for those of you who are who tuned in expecting a continuation of the misadventures of the Navis, I'm afraid you may be in for a disappointing time. However, for those who want to stick around and see how we can build ourselves our own custom ship using the rules found in Utopia Planetia Sourcebook, then stick around. Because the guys now have, well, when I say carte blanche, I mean in regards to what's in the book. So let's first make sure that everybody here has got access to the Dropbox folder that I usually contain the Star Trek rules and associated module books. Does anybody not have the link to that?
Which one is it?
Okie dokie. Let me see if I can.
I'm just going to leave the main designing to the people who know what they're doing. To be honest, I'm here for the ride.
It's copy and paste, but make it better.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, taking what we've learned and applying it to the new one. So I'm just going to throw this link to the Dropbox folder in to Discord. If you've got a login, and I've already given you access, which I should have done. Alex, and Webby, and not everybody, by the looks of it, has got the link. So, Mike,
Yeah.
can you, in Discord, send me your email address, and
Okay.
I will put you into the list of folks who can access the folder.
Alright.
Do I have a Dropbox account? I don't know.
And I remember my Dropbox account.
Looking at sizes of ships, the Crossfield is massive for its age.
Said it was a bad design. Might be slightly biased.
It's
As
larger
everybody,
than a master class.
has everybody else got access to the Dropbox folder?
Yep.
Has
Is
anybody
it
not
just the
got
core
it,
rulebook
basically?
we want?
No, actually, it's the Utopia Planetia. Pardon me, I just punched my mic. It's the Utopia Planetia book. Excuse me. My food's fighting back.
Ah, there it
Utopia
is.
Planetia Starfleet Sourcebook should be the one near the top.
Yep.
Mike, have you got an email address I can send this to?
Oh, I thought I sent you something.
I haven't received anything yet. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I sent it to the wrong person.
Somebody else all of a sudden is getting your email address, whether they wanted to or not.
Feel free to write.
I'll delete it, don't worry. I was going to say, all of a sudden I was just like, wait, what?
Copy and paste, send it to everyone. Post it in the Twitch stream. Yeah.
I'm
You
going to
mean
change
just
the. I'm going to change the screen a minute just so
redirecting
everybody doesn't see Mike's email address. Excuse me.
I thought
We
it
are
was
not
something
starting
weird that
shortly.
it popped up like I'd never been here before when I sent it.
You're not supposed to just redirect every incoming email address to sign them up to spam? Or is that just me?
Okay. So that's going to you. So Star Trek Dropbox.
I know I have a physical book somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it.
Well, it's sharing it, so hopefully you'll get an email very, very shortly.
Alright, let's click on my 17,000 unread emails. There we go.
Is that all?
I'm not even lying, that's true. I've given up trying to go through it.
You're
Yeah.
just trying to ignore the one that's repossessing his house.
Yes, my account is out of storage. What? Oh.
If you're having difficulty, we can find another way, I am sure.
I will get it managed. How about that?
What was that, sorry?
I will manage it. Let me
You'll
just
manage
delete
it.
stuff off it. Yeah.
Well, before we sort out more of that, there's a couple of things I would like to mention just off of the bat, as they say. At the moment, Humble Bundle are doing a Dune Adventures tabletop RPG set that goes for, ironically enough, the charity known as Charity Water. So, if folks are at all interested in the Dune RPG from Modiphius, the guys who also make Star Trek Adventures, then
No, don't
Yes,
kill my
Mike.
keyboard.
whilst Mike is fighting his cat.
God, he's
Or
20 pounds of
Or
mayhem.
possibly a sandworm.
Yes.
So still got some days left on it if you want to go that way. And of interest to somebody here, I'm sure, is that the Cats of Cthulhu, after 10 years away, is coming back for its 10-year anniversary. So if you fancy playing as a cat battling the eldritch forces of the cosmos, then Cats of Cthulhu is coming back.
Wouldn't this be a party of the Cats of Ulthway? Was it Ulthwa? No, Ulthwa, sorry, Ulthway's Wham.
I was going to say Ulthway's from Games Workshop, so... So they may not like us mentioning that without saying, it's Games Workshop.
We can have a random game table. We've got D20, we can have sort of like a Dabo table in the fridge.
You could play D20 role-playing games. In a horribly meta...
Why would you have a shuffleboard? No one will play shuffleboard in the 24th century.
So, anyway, Mike, how are you doing on grabbing the source book?
I'm clearing up space in my Dropbox.
Yeah, you don't need to clear up space because it's a shared folder. It should be alright.
Yeah, I'm giving you access to my folder, so it should just be... should be now able to use the link.
On that topic, could I get a reshare for mine, because I can see your RPG stuff folder, but I can't see that one.
Interesting.
Okay, here we go. Yay!
Unless it's my other email you've got.
I've just revealed it to everybody who's watching, so let me quickly
I wasn't, though.
Let me swing that away. Excuse me, I'll be back again.
Feel free to write.
So, I do have another one for you.
Does it have a picture of a Space Marine penguin
It does.
attached to it? Yeah, that's the one I'm using at the moment for this stuff.
Space Marine Penguin.
So once again, there's the link.
Happy Feet. This is Happy Feet but Bolterons.
No consequences.
Success.
It tells you to put idiosyncrasies in your ship as well. Number 17. The ship deflector field doesn't work against objects of mass exactly 7.2 kilograms.
It says you can, you don't necessarily have to. But
or where's the one that I saw about the doors?
well, let's have a look. What page are you on?
Yes, 58. Okay. Yeah, 54 actually, but it's 58 in the PDF.
Yeah, they are four steps ahead. So you can, if you're struggling to come up with fun, unique idiosyncrasies, you can roll for them. So, you know, you can do silly stuff if you really, really want to, but you don't necessarily feel that you have to.
3/3 internal teleportation ends up in... what's it? In Mike's character's jacuzzi room.
Orai's jacuzzi room.
Orai.
The fact that Orai has a jacuzzi room on board the ship now intrigues me.
Number 8. The ship's left nacelle is slightly brighter than its right.
We don't talk about the port nacelle.
Well, that's a different ship now, unfortunately. Live across the Tier 2 Simple Substrate, thanks for tuning in. Hey, if you've got any ideas for stuff that these guys could put, they could have for their new ship, feel free to type them out.
Love boat.
Actually, no, that could be it. There's always a port nacelle. Always, it just follows.
There it is. Yeah, when the number 20, when the Passard ram scoop is flushed, all the doors on deck 3 open and then close. Can you imagine if you're on night shift and all of a sudden the doors go...
Well.
But then we don't have night shift on our ship.
So, does everybody have access to the source book now?
Yes.
Excellente. So, I would very much like to take you to another page, but first things first, let's take us off of the plinky plunky of the adventure music and just give it like we are on the station. So yes, the USS Navis took one heck of a pounding during the ambush by the Taan and their Klingon allies, and And so, with the sheer amount of structural damage that had been inflicted to the poor gal, the Akira class has had to go back to space dock in order to undergo some very serious repairs, which, of course, now leaves 20th Fleet rather undermanned as far as spaceship power goes, because the Venture, the Galaxy class, has already suffered tremendous damage and is still itself in space dock undergoing repairs, and now, of course, the Navis, the next one down, just suffered a hell of a shellacking. So the only real ship left that the 20th Fleet of Starfleet have got remaining in the Shackleton Expanse is the Bellerophon.
No, Mapui.
Now, the Klingons do still have the Mapui, yes, and there's talk amongst the folk on Narendra Station that due to the situation that is now facing Narendra Station, the Klingons might call in an extra Klingon ship to come and assist. What that ends up being, we don't know yet. But in the meantime, there's the request has gone in from Admiral Hebert for the Admiralty to send in a new ship so that the Navis crew can continue their missions. So, we are going to build ourselves our own ship, and this includes the space frame, a unique space frame for ourselves. So that would be, if you are looking at this on a PDF reader, which I do hope you are, then page 62, or if you're actually looking at the page numbers in the bottom of the PDF itself, it'll say page 58, but in reality it's the 62nd page. We are at
62nd or 52nd?
62. It should be the 62nd page.
Oh, mine is 52.
Interesting.
/ 56.
Well, I'm looking for the bit that says creating starships.
Power of science, not spirituality. 'Cause at the end of the day, what does God need with a starship?
Thank you, Gareth.
Yes.
Somebody needed to get that quote in.
Well, we may as well get it out of the way now.
Yes.
Fine. I know this ship like the back of my hand.
Yeah. What's that on the back
Ow.
of your hand?
Dong!
I like
Right,
it. I
so
don't
what
back
the
of my
hell-
hand. Wait a minute, that's new.
Whose hands are these?
Or eyes. Alright.
Just Ori's got his hands and his sleeves. Just
Bow,
Alright.
chicka, bow, wow.
I don't
That's
remember my hand being
indeed a new
Spanish.
host! I was
Welcome to
quite
the
happy with the
hot
one I had.
Hot Tub Club.
So not only have we now got the new catchphrase of scuttling sexily away, we've now got the other t-shirt of Hot Tub Club. So you heard it here, folks. Much will be arriving soon.
This is advanced interrogation room.
Yes.
Interrogation.
Is this the Tude's second hobby? Just sending people randomly there to see what happens.
I see Ori is totally
Without-
tan.
Yeah, now it's just like really creepy that Latude has cameras in Ori's bathtub room, so that you can
Nice.
see the
No,
reactions.
it's the fact that Ori's bathtub room does not have doors. That's the interesting bit.
so it's on pick 3 with the facade.
Is that those beads from the 70s?
I mean, the Tude had to think of some way to profit off those extra clones and the buffering.
Okay.
Oh, be right back.
Alrighty.
This is where he gets reassigned and he's not in the crew anymore. We get the new.
Alright, so at the moment, we are currently in the year 2373. So this means that your new ship, will be getting issued on that service date. So if we look at the first page on space frame creation, it says that the first step in designing your space frame is when it was launched. And that gives us how many points we can allocate to the systems. If everybody remembers what the systems are, that's basically communications, computers, engine, sensors, structure, and weapons. So the date of issue as it were, determines how many points we get to put into these things. Now, it says every decade after 2200 gives us an extra system point. So we start off with 40. So let's just put this in here up in traits, just as somewhere to look. Now I've just made a blank ship. Let me give you the ability to actually see it. Under USS Navis crew plus ships and the ship's subfolder, where we usually find it in the actors directory, I have created the blank starship character sheet of USS Navis-A. So hopefully you can all see that. Excellent.
Wow, the ship looks like a guy in a cloak.
Yes, that's the standard Foundry default image. So we'll get to replacing that when we do. But for the moment, we want to establish how many system points we have to play with. So we start off with 40, and then for every 10 years, we give it an extra 1. So if we are in 2373, that should give us 57? Somebody check my maths there?
Million.
No.
Yep.
So it should have 57 system points. So, we are not in the year 2400 yet, so we don't get any of that stuff. So the next important thing to choose is scale. So, this bears the question now. Were you happy with the scale 5 ship? Aha, somebody's posted an image in.
Or scale 10.
There isn't a scale 10, I'm afraid. It goes as far as scale 6.
If we are copying like for like on a Phalanx class, then it is scale 5, because that's what a Sovereign class is.
Sovereign should be scale 6, actually. But let's have a look, because the Utopia Planetia Shipyard book should tell us. Where did they put the list of ships?
I'm surprised it doesn't go to 11.
Well,
Scale 11's coming next
kinda
Tuesday.
does go to 10, but
We left
yeah.
spaced up without a scale 11.
So let's see.
forgot
Sovereign,
the
sovereign,
scales?
sovereign. Sovereign is indeed scale 6. So if you want to base it on the Sovereign, then scale 6 does seem to suggest itself. What does everybody think? Do you want to go for a big ship?
Yeah. Bigger hot tubs.
I think the two questions we need to consider are how much power does the captain want, and how well will Cavall be able to pilot it? Obviously, the second one, no matter what we choose, is awesomely well.
Right.
And the
Daniel
first
Classic.
one is we need at least 2 warp cores because we thought we had 2 already.
Well, we'll get to that. We will get to that. We will get to that in due time.
Sorry about that.
We also need
That's
a
all right.
supply of very small warp cores to fire out because the quantum torpedoes weren't cutting it.
I think she would be bigger. I would be happy with scale 6, but
What does everybody else
If
think?
you've driven one bus, you've driven them all.
Bigger is always better.
This does pose an interesting note, actually, in that bigger ship is, of course, in my opinion, very cool. The implications for this, of course, are that you're going to need more crew to pilot it, which means that the crew of the Navis is going to have to grow. So you're going to get a lot of newcomers coming on board, and
either that or we just allow Hello to plug in.
well, there's that too.
Could we perhaps breed more Bravos?
Just collect them.
It's
Bravo.
not close.
Project
Bravo.
Encore.
Bravo.
We
that's
don't
the
need
first time I've
we
laughed
don't
at
need
it.
more Bravos.
So my next
Something
project,
with the
easily
Bravo.
growable semi-sentient plant officers.
Yeah.
Are these called Echo?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
We all played 4 characters.
Considering the size of some of these Scale 6 ships, which is really difficult to say very quickly, Scale 6 ships. Ooh. Yes, you could easily end up playing 4 characters.
Yeah.
One on the lower decks, one on the mid to lower decks, one on the mid to upper decks, and one on the upper deck.
I want to be a sexy, sexy operations officer. Yeah.
I'm afraid operations is probably taken, but as far as
Is
sub-operations...
there a sexy, sexy one, though?
We
That's
lost
it.
them with night shift.
That's a bit harsh,
flip.
poor Nova.
This means we might actually have to have a secondary character to play night shift.
No, there is no night shift.
It's actually Dr. Bertram's plant crewman.
Yes.
Yep.
The boss.
And Unitello's extra remote units.
Vegetable-based crewman. The corn walks among us.
Ah, dearie me. So, no, I'm not hearing any objections so far on the scale issue. Go big kind of thing if you want to base it on the Phalanx class.
Or go home.
Go big or go
Considering the
home.
size of the last ship that we came across was a 6, I think the captain's got a bit envious. Was the bigger the
Size
match.
comparisons are inevitable in these things, I suppose. Yes. So. All right then, scale 6. Well, according to this, scale
I
6
won't be
is the
scared to ram.
largest. Sorry, Jan, what was that?
Now I won't be scared to ram because now I'll be as big as the other ship.
Although Spaceballs comes to mind when Mel Brooks's character comes on. The ship's too long. If I walk, the movie will be over. Alright, so yeah, scale 6 ship can have crews of 1,000 or more, but in times before they probably scaled it down a little bit. But a scale 6 ship adds 2 more points to system points, so we've actually ended up with 59 system points. So this becomes the thing. So if people can see the blank character sheet that we have starting to take shape now. Now, obviously the thing is, the character sheet is pre-filled in most of the systems to have 7, but those will still count off of the system points. So this now comes down to where you see the emphasis for your new ship class, whatever this ends up being attributed. So,
Everything
you
goes
want-
to science.
everything goes to... yeah, well,
Everything
This is
is
it.
science.
I mean, some folks seem to be
things up.
aiming... Sorry, Alex, I talked over you there.
No, I talked over you, sorry.
Okay. So, some folks seem to be aiming to using the Phalanx class, which correct me if I'm wrong. Does that come from just Star Trek Online, or is that something else?
No, it's not online.
It's the
Not
beta
online,
canon, is it?
it's From start, yeah, it's beta.
It's in beta canon, but the fun bit is it's actually on the cover of the New World Black Book.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Okay, it's been ripped apart by a gigantic space squid. But
Of course.
still.
Of course. But nevertheless, I mean, you folks don't need to necessarily feel beholden to the idea of what they've projected as this Phalanx class. This could be something entirely different. It could be a derivative of the experimental Phalanx class at this point. So this is now totally your show, you guys. Where do you want to put these points? So
Well, I like
you
the
should-
phalanx.
be
That's
knocking.
nice.
I mean, it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It is pretty.
Let's knock these down to be zeros, so we don't get.
Do we know if
false-
it's seeing anybody? Is it available? Or... Hey, Felix.
Okay, so we've got 59 system points. Where do you want to put them?
So, if we look at what a sovereign has got,
Yeah, by all means, get a sovereign up for basis of comparison.
because admittedly, from what the original conversation that Davis and I were having on this is that the phalanx is a good fit between a lunar and a sovereign.
Hmm.
No, that's Steam Runner. Sovereign, there we are. So, sovereign systems are 10 comms, 10 engine, 10 structure, 9 computers, 10 sensor, 10 weapons to start with. And it also gains departments, +1 command, +1 security, +1 science.
What is the lowest score of the sovereign systems?
9 computers.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get away with the lowest of 9. So I think when we had 7 in every system, that is probably a good baseline for the
Yeah.
lowest, and then that'll give us 10 points on top of that to make up the 59.
So
7 might actually be too high. We might actually have to go lower on some systems, depending on what we want to push.
yeah, well, talk it out. This is why we're here.
Okay.
Give you guys the choice of how to build this thing. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to take some of those
Well,
points away, or
Hang on, let's let me just calculate what's on the Navis for now.
7 times
Let's
6,
go.
basically?
Let's go 3 in communications, and we'll just use 5 in lights.
We
to
don't
communicate
need
everything. I
We
mean,
don't
look,
do it.
there's a bunch of telepaths on the ship. We don't need communicators.
Okay, so the Navis' stats are 57 at 4 9s, a 10, and 11. So, do we potentially want to put comms at 8? And then we can have computers, engines at 9, sensors and structure at 10, and weapons at 11.
This does beg the question of how heavily you want to go in the armaments direction, or if you want to keep things a bit less.
This is a warship.
Well, yeah. This now begs the question of what kind of stance do you want to take with this ship? Do you want it to be a warship, or do you want it to be something?
Warship.
It's basic, given the way things are going, especially with the Orions and Taan apparently forming her own empire. Are we basically building our ship to expect basically an invasion against a large pirate empire with a psychotic pirate queen who seems to be so terrifying to her people they will commit suicide and basically suicide bomb instead of defying her?
And
That
that's
makes
a
a
big
good
ship.
point.
Yeah. I said, is that kind of where your mindset is, Captain?
A little bit.
Okay.
But it's fully open for the group. Don't just go on what I'm saying, please. Argue, discuss.
So I think that the other question is, are we still going to use sort of the experimental weaponry, or in terms of like the sound gun and so on? So
That's a
stuff
good
that
point.
requires communications. I think that requires communications.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah, good
I
point.
remember the original mission of the Navis was to be an experimental ship with experimental systems, hence why we were doing things like the sound weapon, the cat runs, the insanity of the port nacelle. Are we thinking basically Navis-A is going to be same mission but the next generation of
Yeah.
experimental stuff?
Yeah, this would be. I would agree with that. Is that
Yeah.
because a phalanx has 2 warp cores anyway.
Yeah.
So it does suggest that they are very well. If you actually read the biography, the sort of like the gloss, the itinerary of a phalanx, it does say that they are stupidly overpowered, but they bleed through fuel like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it is very much an experimental ship, and it's not until about 2408 that they actually get an upgrade to stop being as inefficient, but they are still rapid response units.
These are the ships that they decided the Defiant was more stable and cheaper to build than.
Defiance more cheap.
This is actually the ship that was doing the phases and a lot of the things that became the Defiant project afterwards.
Which makes it very interesting, because that would explain in game, as it were, how you guys end up inheriting it, because the Navis already, as has already been spoken, was originally something of a prototype ship of its own. It was supposed to have more power than a ship its size would possibly need, but as a means of seeing if a ship its size could cope with that much extra juice, in order to start building towards bigger class vessels.
But I like the idea that basically they've given us a something very experimental, and I was like, Sonic, can you fix this thing and just let us get on with it?
Yeah.
So I remember the Battles of Navis, the main weaknesses of Navis, it never really had a power problem, for all I remember.
Yeah.
Normally when we were having problems, it was because the structure of the ship seemed to, especially in the last few battles where they were starting to use information gathered from previous fights and espionage to target specific weak points, it did seem to be the defences and structure were more of a problem than handling the sheer amount of power it had.
So do we want to knock the weapons down to 10 and structure at 11?
What does everybody think?
I'm just bringing up the original Navis to see what the comparison was there.
Yeah, the original Navis is in there. If you want to have a look.
Yeah.
She's still there in the corner.
Yeah. Well, the
Battered
original
and
structure was
bruised.
1 point. You got 2 points more. I think we at least want to raise the structure up to 11.
Thoughts, opinions?
I'm just hoping we aren't basically downplaying the other systems, because that was something I personally found a little bit frustrating at times. I say frustrating, and maybe mildly perturbed, because like the systems was quite considerably lower. It made it rolling as a ship really hard to get any kind of successes. You have to be like quite lucky to get it off.
We've got 59, haven't we? You
Yes,
said
you
it's
got-
59 points. So
59
right,
points.
50. If we copy the Navis like for like, that's 57.
Yeah.
Which means you get 2 extra.
So that gives we get 2 extra. So we can boost sensors to 10, structure to 11. It means that we are
Yep.
min-maxing again. Well, no, actually we're not. We're dividing very equally.
Yeah.
Right, do we want to do that and then shuffle numbers around after? Because that gives us a baseline rather than the blank 7s we're currently on.
Okay, fine.
Sure.
Fine. Does somebody else want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
Let's let the Webby do it. You know how much he loves creating ships and stuff.
My hands are off the controls.
Oh, no, that sensors at 97 then.
No. But
So, Captain, with this layout, we targeted the exact centimetre of the Orion ship we need to pinpoint. However, none of our weapons have any power.
The entire sensor network of the Federation just goes offline for half a second as the phalanx fire.
My God, we just detected a Borg warship incoming. How long till it reaches us? 76 years.
It's alright, it's not our problem.
that seems like most government, isn't it? Make it the next guy's problem.
Yeah.
But before we get political, let me quickly stop that train of thought before we go any further, because that
Coming
way
after this, man.
lies rage. Alright, so we're using the Navis
There you go.
as basically a template.
And what did we say? Structure, and what is it? Sensors.
Yeah. Do you want structure and sensors or structure and engines?
Structure and comms. If we're gonna do experimental sound weapon. Oh. Yeah.
Good point. Yep. Always worth bearing in mind.
A way of actually tinkering with that now.
Yeah.
So
well,
we're doing comms 10, sensors 10.
I think structure should go up to 11 as a priority, given our history. I think I can see an argument for all of them.
Yeah.
We've got 2 warp cores. Can we have better engine?
She does
Yeah.
walk 9.96.
I mean, we can't get to 10, we might become lizards.
No. We that's been solved. They called it Operation Retcon to fix that little bug.
It's amazing what happens when Neelix gets to the coffee pot.
What if you poisoned it? Neelix on cyanide. I can live
No,
with that.
he did. That's why that whole episode happened. It was a fever dream.
Shall we let fate decide? For on a D4?
Well,
Yeah.
we could always go one by one, see what people want that last point to go to, and then see if there's
Yeah.
a majority.
right then. So the numbers look now more like that. 999, 9, 10. So, whoa.
Yeah. There's 98 there. 58, sorry.
So, all right then. Let's start at the top. Alex, what do you think? Where should that last point go? What's your inclination? Do you think it should be structure because you're against so many folks that deal damage, or do you think it's worth putting it in engines in order to make sure
Should be
you have
11
more
already.
It should be.
Yeah.
Fixed it.
Ah,
Part of
there
me
you
wants to say computers, to be honest. Because it is used generally a lot. Computer. Actually, same for
There's a justification for all of them. So just
D4.
pick-
You want to go
I'm
with
up
a
for
random
random.
element? Alright, fine. Let's go next on the list. Well, Webby, what's your inclination?
I think sensors, but I'm quite happy to let the fates decide as well.
Alright. Jan, your inclination?
I'm not too fussed about it. If I had to choose one, I would probably, I'd probably also go with sensors, but that's also not a big definite. Well, it's not a
Okay.
definite at all.
Okay. Okie dokie. Alrighty. So, Davis, your inclination?
Fate to decide, but I'd prefer it didn't land on comms.
Just eliminate what? Okay.
So your
Gareth?
opinion's D3.
I would actually suggest computers, because one thing that we've been hit multiple times now are virus and hacking attacks.
I'm just not going to let anyone from flipping the starbase do any upgrade. Oh, we want to put these new experimental sensors in. Get off.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a bit-
sorry, but you're not qualified on a phalanx class.
I'll just say,
It's not in your certification.
why do you think we should let you do, experimental sensor changes on our ship specifically designed to be an experimental ship?
Andrew's just going to be watching every repair team or kind of anyone that's not part of the original crew that's not been there to be like sitting there with a phaser just going, just try it.
Alright, so next on the list would be Mike. What do you think? Where should this last point go?
I think computers.
Computers as well. Okay, a strong case is being made for computers at the moment. And that leaves Sean.
I'd probably go sensors, just we use it a lot.
Yeah, okay. So, at least 2, maybe 3 are inclined towards computers, at least 2 are inclined towards sensors, so
Shall we D2?
D2 it?
Yeah.
Okay. If somebody would like to do the honours. What's number 1?
Go on, someone else can be the. Davis, you roll a 0.
That would be on brand.
Well done.
That,
You're on.
so that was all to 0. Does that mean he goes to communications to one?
1.
You
Alright,
asked me to roll
computers.
a 0, so I rolled a 0.
But taking what Davis said to heart, this does not have to be final. We'll have a look at where we are at the end of all of this, and we'll see if we agree if that looks like what we want, and we'll come back to it. But for the moment, that's how we're allocating points. Okay.
We probably need better computers to deal with hello.
That's a good point, yeah.
But this
So
is it.
that
If we
should
do put
be-
the CDC in, then there may be that. If you want to put an argument in to allow him to have a bit more free reign, maybe.
Plus, given how much the information and hacking and virus warfare is happening, maybe it's the basis for us to start doing some projects to actually hack into the systems as a different type of warfare.
Nova wouldn't press it to get it attached because Andrews isn't interested.
Well, that's the thing, is that Andrews is kind of considering is that an AI is quicker at dealing with problems on the computer. So, you know.
How dare you?
Yes,
I went to school for this.
you and your inferior flesh. All
Hey,
right.
I'm part robot. It's fine. when the AI overlords come along, give me like hi.
I'm
Well,
one
you
of you.
We
We
already
also-
have an AI overlord. You're it.
We asked Hello to run some simulations of different battle and combat strategies, and 100% of the time its response was, tell Claude to press his button faster.
All right.
I thought you were going to say, like, it starts with ramming speed, ends with self-destruct in front in the middle of an enemy formation.
So now we get on to departments. So, much like when using system points, every space frame will have department points. Each space frame has 3 department points, and these can be allocated however you'd like. These are kind of like the bonus that they throw in. So, you can either put 2 in one and 1 in another, or spread ones across. It's unusual to put all 3 in one place, because that does then make this frame, this space frame, this class, very specialized. And so let's not forget that there's also the fact that you're creating a space frame so that different mission profiles can be bolted onto it in order to change things up a little bit. So this is like the overall template we're making now, so that other mission profiles can be chopped and changed around as a result. So where do we feel the department points, the 3 of them, should go? Do we think that as a bigger ship there might need to be 1 in command, because maybe it could be a middle of the line kind of thing? Or do we think security, because it needs to be a bigger, tougher, punchier ship? Do we think it needs to go in engineering because the 2 warp cores? And so
Obviously, it goes to science. Obviously.
well, you know, one of the points might very well.
My goodness.
I think since we're prepping it for war, security is probably.
Yeah, I think security.
But how
I
much?
think one to...
I'd just say the 1, like we did on the Navis, I think, looking at the stats.
So just for now, putting the 1 in. So that's just 1, but you do get 3 points to put in departments initially anyway, so where else do we think
Right, if
these
we look
points should go?
if we look on the opposite side, what's our weaknesses? Communications, engines, and sensors. So engines and command, sensors and engineering are normally rolled, aren't they? Oh, they're sensors and science actually, is general.
Other people,
But
thoughts?
But giving into science means Ori wins.
I think I think we want to consider putting one in engineering. Again, power management is going to be a big thing on this ship.
Mhm.
So for the moment, let's tuck that away. 1 point remaining. I mean, you know, this
We're in
is
the
your
shackle
ship.
to
You
next
guys
time.
make your choices.
All right.
We are in a scientific anomaly. I'd be happy.
Science.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
let
Oh,
Mike
look.
have science.
That's just
We
letting the
can settle
cameras
this in
swing.
the hot tub, gentlemen.
So what you're saying
Go on, Davis.
There is
is
no-
you don't want the science labs extended because that's your hot tub space.
What we don't tell Ori is that's also the section that we can eject.
No, what we
Yay!
don't tell Ori is there is no hot tub. We gave that budget to Claude. He just built a rockery.
It's just a
Oh.
rockery.
Well, no, it's going to be a hot tub, but it's going to be magma.
Sonic
Magma.
shower hot tub.
Sonic shower, but someone plugged the sound weapon in by accident.
And as you get in, it
Wouldn't that
scans
just
for your
stop the
race.
orgies?
Sonic shower, but it's stuck on Spice Girls.
All right, so that seems to be. I mean, well, actually, we're not. We're far from done. But are we all good with that? We've kind of spread it generally on engineering, science, and security to make it stronger in those kind of areas without specializing too heavily in any particular place. So, anybody think that maybe it should be concentrated elsewhere, or are you all happy more or less with the idea of that's the distribution that you're aiming for?
That's what I would have picked.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. All right. So,
Matt,
go.
I need to take a break real fast. I would like to appoint Bertram's boss to be representative for Ori in my absence.
Okay.
You go with the personality moss, gotcha.
Ooh.
I'll be back in just a
Why
few
would
minutes.
Bertram?
That's a
Why
fine.
would
That's
Bertram
fine.
make
Take
a
your time.
personality boss? Bertram doesn't have a personality.
That's
right,
why.
we need to
I mean, that's how he's been able to seduce Jenny Edwards. He leaves the moss by a pillow and he just whispers sweet nothing into her ear every night.
No, the moss is the pillow.
Yeah. I wanted a professional science and rationality focused ship. I thought I was coming to Star Trek. Judging by this conversation, I've ended up in Battlestar Galactica.
Well, you know, Beverly Crusher
Oh,
gets
cracking hell.
seduced by a ghost. Jenny Eric gets seduced by moss.
What
Webby
is-
makes a point. This
whatever-
isn't the silliest thing that's happened in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Supposed to say what?
Sir,
Give
I
us some time.
protest. I am not a merry man.
Every time Q turns up.
Isn't that the most hated Next Generation episode, or one of the most hated Next Generation episodes? I forget.
Pretty sure about half of season one's probably more hated than that.
Don't say anything about season 1.
Bite
First
your
rule of
tongue.
season one, we don't talk about season one.
It was still finding its feet back then. But hey, they found it. Eventually. And hey, if we didn't have season 1 of Star Trek The Next Generation, we would never have had Voltaire's brilliant comedy songs.
It's true. Most likely,
Okay.
if they hadn't made season one of Next Generation, we probably wouldn't be playing this fine game for Modiphius.
We are not sponsored by
we're just
Modiphius.
fans.
They've gotten to
We should
you,
be.
haven't they, Gareth? How much did they offer? Could they throw some of that money my way?
I spent it all on the personality moss, apparently.
Spent the entire budget on personality.
Well, not the entire budget. Some of it went to Clark's Rockery.
I thought some of it is going to go into the next intro video.
Well, yes, this is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work out how to make that quite quickly, while also writing
Don't worry about it.
upcoming.
We'll keep the memory of the Navis-A alive by saying that, you know, Paramount didn't give us any budget for a change in the intro video until season 3. So actually, we're on season 3. Pardon me.
I can have a play if you want, Gareth. If you're
Season
busy.
4.
I'd probably try and download a model, create a model of the phalanx for Bridge Commander rather than STO.
Yeah. We shall see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Now, the next step would be ship talents. What really bears noting here is that the number of talents that a ship can have is equal to its scale, but one talent should. Thank you for putting Mice second gen in the cargo, Sean. I assume that was you.
Transferred over from the original ship.
We've
Yeah, they've
gained
been
mice.
transported over. I was gonna say. Well, they
They've
would
been
have
produced
multiplied.
somehow.
Almost double the mice count. In fact, it is double.
Well, you know, bigger ship.
It's biggest, yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, so the idea
What's
is
gonna
at this
mean
point
solid
that the space frame itself will suggest a number of ship talents, and we'll get to where that can be in the book. We should, if I've done my job properly, which I hope I have, the relevant starship talents should be in the items directory under the folder of starship talents, which I hope you can all see on Foundry.
Can we just copy and paste?
Well, it's a case of you just kind of hold on to them and move them over into the talent section. You know, so.
No, I'm just talking about from the Navis. Do we
From
just
the
want
Navis,
to copy
well,
and paste?
Again, this now comes down to the
That's
group's
what it's
experience, where
all-
they felt what worked and what didn't.
Well, I think the secondary reactors has to be copied across.
So, just to give you the
Burn
page
through power
number,
like no tomorrow.
the page number of Utopia Planetia that we are looking at for talents is, well, 88 for those of us using reasonable ones. It's page 84 in the actual page numbers, or chapter 3, section 80, talents. Certain talents, of course, have got requirements of it being a certain period in time, like the ablative armor generator is for 25th century or later, so can't have that. But hopefully the talents are also from the Utopia Planetia Shipyard sourcebook, also appears in the list of talents that I have given you to choose from in the actual Foundry listing. So if I haven't, then it's easily added. So, yes, obviously, the Navis itself can work as a template of what you thought worked and what maybe could be left behind a little bit, or what things we might want to put on instead.
Hey, Gareth, were we meant to be adding threat every time we fired a torpedo?
No, not necessarily. It was usually when the salvo option of torpedoes was used, and that's when you fire 3 to 6 at a time in order to do maximum amount of damage possible. That's when
torpedo
threat
salve, I missed that.
tends to
Doesn't
go.
look
But you guys have usually done enough damage with just a single quantum torpedo. Which, of course, brings up the notion that if you want quantum torpedoes, again, you're going to need the talent quantum torpedoes in order to get it.
Oh,
There is also...
looking at...
it wasn't multi-vector assault mode, it was... There's a
Rapid fire
feat... Sorry, not a feat, that's the wrong system. There's a talent called Expanded Munitions that will also give you extra weapons beyond the standard of, phaser array, photon torpedo, tractor beam. That comes as
see,
standard.
Rapid fire only works with salvos, that's what I was just looking at. That's why I
We
asked
did
questions.
use it a couple of times then.
I am in favor of keeping the ablative armor because that raises the resistance by 2,
Yeah.
which determines whether we get breaches, I think.
Yeah, and it will mean that it pushes it past the Navis, because the Navis was resistance 7. This will now be resistance 8.
Yep.
I've got an idea. Yes.
Yeah. Go
For
on.
it. considering the one thing I started realising, especially in some of the more prolonged fights, is the damage sort of snowballs. So we're good when we're resisting it, but as soon as we start taking one, we start one hit, bigger hit, we're getting more and more. So I'm thinking improved damage control.
Let's have a look. Improved damage control, more efficient damage reporting systems, better trained teams of technicians. Whenever a character takes the damage control task aboard ship, they can re-roll a single d20. If the repairs require an extended task, they gain progression and an extra work done. So, that wouldn't necessarily stop you taking breaches. It just means that...
it's more to recover from it.
Yeah.
It was just, I said, it's just, to me, it seemed to snowball. It's like, soon as you start like taking like one breach and a system started getting messed
Yes,
with, and we
indeed.
start taking more and more and more. We weren't getting like, it wasn't like flatlining as like the same amount. It just kept getting worse and worse.
Well, bearing
So
in
some-
mind, in the last fight, we didn't have half of the crew that could stop the breaches on board.
Well, I think it wasn't just the last fight. It's been like a couple where it's.
We've not
still
really
on a bit.
taken any major breaches. It's just that last fight.
We
know
have.
it's
We just been able to come up.
we're just quick enough to actually resolve them.
Rather than a secondary core, I'd rather have improved power systems.
Just improve power system.
When a character succeeds at power management, the ship gains 2 power per momentum rather than 1.
We don't really spend momentum for power regen, though, do we? Because most people have got the power perk.
At least one has got the ability to... one of you does have the ability to draw more power, and I think your chief engineer has the ability to, if... let's find him, actually. Where is your chief engineer?
I'm in favor of improved shield recharge.
That's the one that it drains the shields off, isn't it?
Improved shield
Regenerate
recharge.
shield slashes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically, yeah. Gains 3 points of shields plus 3 for each momentum spent.
Which one was that, sorry?
Improved shield.
Improved
shield recharge, yeah.
There we are. So far all I've taken with any certainty is ablative armor, so...
Yeah. Do we want quantum torpedoes again?
It'd be sad not to have them.
Yeah.
Oh,
It does seem not taking them would be a step down.
So, is improved shield recharge going... or is improved damage control going to be thrown in?
Do we want... Webby, did you say earlier we wanted secondary reactors for extra power?
Well, this is what Davis was just saying. I do think we probably need the power side of it.
Yeah.
We burn through power as the Navis.
Yeah.
I think the advanced shields needs to come over as well because we absolutely burned through the 19 points.
Yeah.
Rather than secondary reactors, do we want to have put it as a redundant core? Because then if it's damaged, we can get it back up and running again as a minor.
It's redundant core?
Redundant systems, which is more traditional systems allow it to withstand severe damage more easily. Now in a single system, when the system becomes damaged, it is able to crew which is to activate the backups as a minor action to simple damage. Damage seems to say when it becomes damage instead.
So it's a way of
Damage system.
downgrading the damage done to a system.
Because we don't tend to run out of power. We tend to have a situation where, yeah, your power's gone because plot.
We do burn through a lot of power though, when you actually look at things. When you look at how much we do in combat, we do burn through a lot of power and a lot of shields, and then it means that ops and engineering are generally focused on shield regeneration, power regeneration.
And that's literally all I do in Space Combat.
Whenever a ship spends power to go to warp, roll and challenge down. Okay, so let's just improve warp drive. That doesn't add anything on that.
Well, there's the option for a deluxe galley
Yeah.
for higher quality food.
Alright,
Generate
so...
one additional momentum.
So far, we've kind of taken it that ablative armor and quantum torpedoes, secondary reactors and advanced shields were all things that worked very well for us before. Which leaves us with the one left to assign, the one talent left to assign to the space frame rather than the actual individual ship. So
I think
go on. Yeah.
maybe is source of separation is it part of a frame? Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of source of separation. I guess I don't know how other people feel about it.
Let's go full multi-vector assault mode.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we could have split into three. We could have one piloted by the player characters, one by night shift, and one by Claude pressing the button.
Claude button press.
Or let's go one step further. If we decided that Blackwood's so going on about how we break the rules, let's go all the way and give ourselves a cloaking device.
The one issue you've got with source of separation, however cool it is, when you read that bottom line, separating and reconnection cannot be done if the structure of either ship has been damaged or disabled. If one half gets damaged, you can't dock.
Scratch that idea.
Just have to tow the other half through a tractor beam through more.
If we're thinking about power, I've just been reading backup EPS conduits.
Yes, backup EPS.
Which basically means whenever the ship would lose one or more power because of suffering damage, roll a challenge dice for each power lost. If you roll an effect, it prevents the loss of that point of power.
So the counter, but the equivalent of that for shields is siphoning shields.
Yeah, I saw the siphoning shields.
Yeah.
So they are basically the same thing, but for different systems.
Yeah.
Which do we burn through? We burn through. I'd probably say we burn through shields more than we do.
I've got one that'll actually give us the freedom to do either of those. Automated defences. If at the end of the combat round no one has fired, the ship will do it on its own.
We just leave that on, so we're in the middle of a diplomatic thing. He goes, "We come in peace." And automated defences goes, "No commands is to be given to fire. Fire!"
Ship may make an unassisted energy weapon attack using weapons given to target, and meant to maybe use generators normal for this attack.
That means that whoever was going to be caught pressing the button can be caught doing his secondary new job of turn more stuff into the power system.
Stick more torpedoes in torpedo tube.
Do we want to spend the talent entirely that may as well be saving Claude pressing a button?
Claude like button.
Well,
Button or Claude have.
We did make his console as simple as possible.
Or if we want to expand sort of the combat options, there's also the electronic warfare systems, I guess.
True, yeah.
But that's actually, when you look at that one, you goes, oh, that's interesting. And then it's like, you get to just select an additional ship to target, which would be good for the sound gun. But the sound gun at the same time was also been done for a blast if we do a success.
yes.
Command ship doesn't be nice, but doesn't really add any benefit. Cloaking device for shits and giggles.
Oh, I suggested that earlier.
Yeah, and this introduces an interesting little thought I had, which was mostly along the lines of, would this perhaps be a joint Federation Klingon ship construction?
So we'll have Klingons on board?
Well, not entirely, but this might be a good reason too.
It'll just be off the starboard bow.
Or, hear me out, we just sneak to that meteorite, purloin the Pegasus cloak and install that when no one's looking.
We have a phase cloaking device. The extensive shuttle bays we don't really use, do we?
We generally just send the
large
one
number
out
of
to
active
the
shuttle bays.
Cabal Confiner's micro torpedoes.
Well, I will
Twice
say
as many
this
small
much.
craft, though.
If you're having trouble, obviously like I've said before, the mission profile, like whether it's a warship or a science ship or a medicine ship or a general response vessel, will have multiple, not just one, talents that you can choose from. So if you're having trouble narrowing down what the 5th should be, maybe you leave the 5th and 6th talent slots open for whatever mission profile as a thought. I mean, you are going through an interesting list of stuff. There's also mission pod related things. But if you do choose mission pod, then we do the number of system points and departments, I think, gets rejigged, because that then counts for the pod who have their own points, because they can be swapped out.
Rugged design, durable construction, and easy access to critical systems allow repairs to remain easily. Reduce the difficulty of all tasks to repair the ship by 1 to a minimum of 1.
Something that comes the other way, improved hull integrity gives the ship resistance 1. So it's like one of them helps reduce the amount of damage it takes, the other one makes it easier to fix the damage.
You've already got a buff of 2 resistance thanks to ablative armor. If you put in improved hull integrity, that ups the resistance to 9.
I would be really tempted with that.
Because we just fired a quantum torpedo at them and it scuffed the paintwork.
We can hear the captain shouting at the con officer from here.
I mean,
I would be really tempted with improved hull integrity just to have that resistance 9. It's like the Navis was 7. It's 2 points stronger. Like, we fired, like you say, we fired that full barrage and it's still standing.
With that,
So
as I
reduce the
understand
chances
it,
of breaches.
yeah, that's just what I was about to say. What do other people think?
That's not a bad one, I think.
no other objections or notes going on. So this would suggest that whatever class of ship this is was basically Starfleet going, you know what, we don't have enough tanks.
It's a rapid response cruiser. So
Yeah.
it would be it needs to come in and soak the damage.
But perhaps we were sort of like put together with notes taken on the Navis' last fight, just how much damage it wasn't able to soak.
Now, this is a brawler, not a fencer.
This is good.
Rope-a-dope maneuvers, as they call it. Yes.
It's the Akira's big brother.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I got you, little bro.
You know what? One thing I haven't been able to find is extra port nacelle, so we can have our port nacelle, and we can have another port nacelle that actually acts as a nacelle and not whatever Nova and Vibers are hiding in there.
Could have the variable geometry warp field because of the nacelles.
Yep. There are a lot of things that do suggest themselves.
I'm still up for improved hull integrity. I think that's it.
Yeah, given that we're basically making a tank.
All right then. Last word. The improved hull integrity.
Yep, that was on 5. You said we get 1 per size, and we're now with size 6.
So that leaves the one that can be used for that can be set aside for the mission profile. So resistance
We've taken the rapid
9.
fire torpedo launcher out now, haven't we? And the extensive
Yeah.
shuttle bays.
Now we look at weapons. If everyone's good with that.
The like the major advancements that were spent on the Navis, I guess we don't get those back, do we?
Not
The large
exactly, no.
milestones.
Afraid not. But, because, that was you improving your previous ship. I will note, however, I do believe it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Weren't there some folks who haven't yet used all of their large milestones? Fazanan for one, Bertram for a definite other.
Used all
Edwards
my large
certainly. Nova definitely
used
hasn't
them.
used all of her large milestones.
I think. But I was actually thinking about exploring now into some stats.
So, you know, folks can be spending those to improve the ship when it's finished. And we're not finished yet. So, let's have a look. Oh, look, there she is. So, weapons is going to be next. Now, standard weapons for you guys. This will be on, starting on... Where are we? Types of energy weapons. Types of weapons. Going to start on, according to the page numbers in the book itself, 77. Those of us who are using page numbers are going to be more like 81. Gives a basic rundown of the various types of beams, weapon types. Now, phaser arrays suggest themselves. Obviously, it comes in a case of, is it an array, is it a bank, or is it a cannon? Is it phaser arrays, is it phaser banks, is it phaser cannons? So, standard on a ship this big would probably be arrays.
But you need a graviton beating.
Phalanx has, just looking at it, 11 type 12 phaser arrays, 2 forward phaser cannons, 5 photon torpedo launchers, 2 forward free aft, and 1 forward quantum torpedo.
Well, for the benefit of this game,
Yeah.
it will have phaser arrays. The only way it'll have the extra phaser cannon would be if, during selection of mission profile, it allows you to use the, what was it, additional... Not additional weapons. It was expanded munitions. However, you have taken the quantum torpedoes as...
I'd say she'd have arrays rather than banks, so it means that it's got the near enough 360.
Yes. And also arrays have the spread and area usage, so plus they're mediums, rather than if you had phaser cannon it would be close range, but phaser arrays makes it medium range. And phaser punch. Whereas phaser arrays literally have the versatile quality to them, so... So, weapons-wise, we should be good. We also get a tractor beam. Of the strength of the ship. Which is rather impressive. So, put a pin in the weapons-related issue, obviously, but here's where we go really interesting. But first, let me zoom us back to the space frame and mission profiles creations. Let's zoom back to page 72. Because now we get onto mission profiles, and there's a heck of a lot more mission profiles in the Utopia Planetia one than there were originally in the core rulebook. So, if folks want to take a trip to page 68, or 72 if you're using an actual page count, you've got quite a bit extra mission profiles to choose from now. And these would be the ones that would allow you to gain whoop. Injury by cat.
Sorry.
That's fine, that's fine.
I think I found Ori's choice.
The entertainment pleasure ship.
Entertainment / pleasure ship.
Well, it's for diplomatic purposes.
It has the Zank stick.
We believe you.
It would allow the doctor to get the advanced sick bay, yes.
Or as I call it, the Arbitorium. So as I call it, the plant base.
Yes.
So the Navis was a multi-role explorer.
She was.
Making it jack of all trades.
Ooh, battlecruiser.
Yeah, now, like I
Yeah,
said, there's a lot more choice than there was previously, so have a good old look. There are a lot more. And of course, the
It's an actual
mission
warship.
profile. Yeah, the mission profile will fill in the departments.
Crisis and emergency response.
Oh, I like what this one's called, the technical test bed.
Which, you know, is not a million miles away from what this could be.
Warships very underpowered in everything apart from security and engineering, man. Very.
Well, it does say in the description it's basically just a transport for the firepower it carries.
So, have a good mosey. See if anything stands out. Having a mosey, for those of you who don't know, means having a look.
The interesting thing is, if you look at the talents for battlecruiser and warship, I mean, we've got most of those.
Yeah.
Reserve fleet giving us the whole integrity as the freebie, so we can go pick something else.
Yeah, like I said, none
Plus
of
the
this is set in
security
stone
gap
yet. So.
Massively though. For the
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
We were focusing on security, and that is a low security one. Because to be honest, I think several of them have talents that we've already taken that would free up one anyway. Doesn't have to necessarily be improved hull integrity specifically.
did we end up taking the damage control?
No.
No.
Tactical ops sounds quite nice then.
I was just reading Tactical Ops though.
Ablative armor, fast targeting, improved damage control, improved impulse drive, expanded munitions. Low science rating, high medicine rating and engineering, and really high security. Not bad command and con.
We already gave Ori science.
Yeah. Then we could just supplement it, give him 2 science again. Like, yeah.
So, I mean, does that add to our existing rating? Or?
Yes.
The Navis the Navis 1 science was 2. So, we'd go back to 2 again. We put an extra science console on the bridge for Ori.
Not me, I'm fine with tactical.
Well, yeah, talk it out. Which ones do you think suit your vision of what you want?
Technical test bed looks interesting as well.
Like, for the
Yeah.
most part, so like jack of all trades, but with command sort of reduced to boost engineering a bit.
Yeah, it's not a bad one, and then we could always take the backup EPS conduits.
Thoughts?
Or,
Sound of concentration and reading.
Yeah.
Ooh, espionage.
I heard that. Yep, there's the espionage one as well, if you really want to go that way.
Oh, look how it makes everything else low. I like that Science 3 though.
Yeah. Slim sensor silhouette. High resolution
yes.
sensors.
It's between tactical operations and technical test bed for me. I'm leaning more towards the tactical operations because of the high security. But we argue technical test bed if people think that that's going to be more beneficial. It's what that gives us the extra engineering, extra science, reduces command and security. We generally don't use command that much. It's mainly on the senior bridge crew that use command.
Yeah, I think I like the technical test bed.
And look at all the opportunities for some of that technology to go wrong.
You read my mind. You couldn't see it, but I was here rubbing my hands with glee the entire time. But, you know.
It fits the lore that we've come up with, that we've been given the ship that's got bugs in it to work the bugs out. Go for the technical test bed.
All right, so fine. How many scientists will it fire? I'm a bit late to the party on that particular comment, but yes. Yeah, so folks, what do you think? Technical test bed seems to be the one some folks are leaning towards. What about those of you who may not have been leaning towards it?
We really, yep, that'd be a good one if we're really leaning into us being basically a ship of experiments.
Which would fit with the reputation the Navis crew have gained so far, so...
Yep.
You are the only ones...
We don't know what standard means.
Well, exactly. You know, you're the ones resourceful, back to the hot tub to fight it out. You from the very beginning, we established that you guys were the out-of-the-box thinkers, the resourceful ones, the guys who can, you know, think on your feet, and therefore are the only ones crazy enough to take on some of these prototype systems. So it does indeed fit. So, Alex, you've been a little quiet on this. What do you think? Unless you're not here, of course. Nope, there you are.
I'm here.
Technical test bed, or does something else grab your fancy? Ooh, the sound of careful consideration.
What if we make it a tactical test bed?
I mean, part of me is wondering if we say it enough times, does Webby have a flashback to his job? That's when a Rolls Royce and the shaking test bed.
Thanks, Alex. Would you like me to tell the internet what your job role is?
Claims handler for an insurance company. And to be honest, I didn't tell you that much about what we do.
Anyway, pulling this swiftly back into what we actually want it to be about.
Yep.
Were there any that struck you that you think might be interesting, Alex? As far as mission profiles go. I'm guessing you're still looking.
It's one of the things I'm not really sure. Some people have a general idea of how they want this to go. I'm not really sure. That's the thing. I'm just thinking about it. It's like
Well, go on.
I'm happy to defer to the group.
Okay, but, you know, going on, you know, each of you individually, your experience of what we've gone through this far, you know, the things that you've taken away from all those experiences we've had with what the Navis crew have gone through, are there any things that stick out as I think that's where we maybe had a bit of a shortcoming and could build on that maybe, but if not, that's fine. Because yes, as was noted previously, it was multi-role explorer, which was a nice, as was noted, jack of all trades kind of feel to the thing. But now we're going a little bit more into what we feel we're doing, and technical test bed seems to be our favourite so far. So who else have we haven't heard from? Sean, any thoughts?
I think because we've got a lot of views, the multi-role explorer keeping it balanced is still the way forward.
Interesting.
It doesn't hinder anybody's area, and we'll upgrade the ones that we're interested in anyway.
That's a good point. You've got the large milestones to upgrade the bits that you do think need upgrading, so... Multi-role Explorer is indeed the medium. The one very much just puts everything at 2. You've already got improved hull integrity and secondary reactors, so you can get rugged design from Multi-role Explorer. So, I suppose now it's down to a vote.
I've just got a question.
Sure.
As a talent, it specifies additional propulsion system, but that's not under the talent list, so that must be described somewhere else.
Additional propulsion. That's a good point, actually. Let's have a look. Where did we find that? That was in talents on page 88.
I'm searching through the PDF for where they specify additional propulsion system.
So the first one that comes up with additional propulsion is the Crossfield class. Then the next one, it looks like it's kind of like the non-standard propulsions. So the next one is quantum slipstream burst drive.
You may choose to add the additional propulsion system special rule to give the craft an additional type of propulsion. Well, I was going to get into that, actually.
Are we going to put the dark matter and the dark matter the gravity torus back in it?
Well, this was it. If we actually move, we'll table the discussion of the mission profile for a moment, and because this brings us nicely on to different types of FTL travel. So I believe I had found that on page 42, for those of us who use actual page numbers, or 38. It gives a couple of suggestions, but if you were to take that additional propulsion talent, there are a couple of alternative... I mean, like, if you want to go with the Crossfield class, that was because it allowed Discovery to have that extra one, you know, the Spore drive. But this could be where the quantum slipstream drive comes into play. Or you could try something entirely different, like what was just discussed, the dark matter torus being used to punch your way into different layers of subspace, and thus would qualify as
mycelial
like
realm. That worked really well.
Well, yeah, you know, it would count as using a subspace corridor, or you know, like a spatial folding kind of thing. So, or just traveling through different layers of subspace. So, which would essentially be wormholing. So, if that's something you think you might want to explore with this new ship,
yeah, we could use the event horizon technology.
What could go wrong?
Literally folding space. Yeah.
It worked very well.
It did. It gave us an entire wargaming franchise. Oh no, wait, it was the other way around, wasn't it? Sorry. I mean, again, these are all just ideas, but I was going to get around to that.
Part of it really wants to put the gravity torus back in, but I'm like, no, because we almost tore the damn thing apart and we sent it flying off towards Denobula.
That's true.
This is a bigger ship.
Yes.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah,
if it's already built into the ship, then one imagines it would be a lot more firmly bolted down. So you know.
Don't you want some kind of like round belt around the waist of the ship? You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Opening.
No, rather than see the whole thing fly off without you. But Either way.
You like the idea of a crossfield with a random spinning bit on the outside of the saucer, right?
No, I don't like. I like the crossfield class. It wouldn't work on any other ship. It would have to be built in, so you wouldn't see this stupid part of the ship rotating. Can you imagine if the entire flipping saucer section of this ship just starts to spin? Woo.
Yeah, everybody
Mr.
in the crew
Minoko,
quarters
drink-
section would get a bit dizzy.
Yeah, Mr. Minoko, the drinks are on the wall again. Oh, black alert as we get in game.
So that's what all the liquid was. It's all becoming clear to me now.
There's a black alert code for the drinks are taken out of the light bulb.
It is now.
So this once again brings us back to the space frame, I think. The mission profile, I should say. Back on page 72. Cause multi-role explorer didn't have the additional. But, you know, like I said, nothing's
But
written in stone yet, so.
Yeah, if it did, we could take. Which one did we take?
You could
Hull integrity
secondary
would be
reactors
taken.
is already there on multi-role explorer, so you could swap out
Yeah,
that
so
for
it's
something else.
improved hull integrity.
Or well done, Sean. You've introduced chaos and uncertainty to what was otherwise a very certain. And Jan, actually, both of you together.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep. So, what's people's feelings now? Are we still keying towards technical testbed, or are we now thinking multi-role explorer still has validity and therefore could be juggled around a bit with this talk of a new propulsion system? Or does does the technical testbed suit more the new additional propulsion system, because it's right there in the technical testbed list of talents?
Should we let the fates decide on this one?
What do folks think?
I thought we were gonna have a hot tub fight.
It's the
I only do
equivalent.
hot tub fights. Yeah, I only do hot tubs fight with my Ushantor.
Okay. Fine.
Medical emergency to Ori's bathtub.
Not again.
There's a special site-to-site transporter protocol for that, isn't there? Oh, good God, Ori, not again! I've got this on my list of favourites. My functions are favorited right here. Just one press, that's all I need.
It grows back bigger.
It grows back.
It grows back.
Let's vote on it and then roll a die anyway.
Yeah, let's get to this. So, if folks are still seesawing on it, then what should we put the vote between? The multi-role explorer and the technical testbed, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So it sounds like a roll of a D2. 1 will be the multi-role, 2 will be the technical testbed. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Fine with that? Do you want to let either Sean or Jan roll, as they were the two that
Yeah.
brought the chaos in?
Go on, Sean. Roll a D2 and let's see what comes out the other end.
You can do it.
And it's technical testbed. You alright with that, Sean?
Yeah.
Excelente. Alright then, so
Those are both good choices.
You know what? We could have just counted them all and just rolled a D4 for that, and we got some absolute horrific thing. Oh, it's just an entertainment and pleasure ship.
you could have, yes, you could have gone completely bananas with it, but
5, 6.
well, this
So, are we taking an idiosyncrasy of this ship?
well, we'll get to that in a second, which is when we'll get to traits, but I want to ask one simple question, which is, what's the name of the space frame in case there are any further attempts at Starfleet building more of this class of ship? Would you like
It's
it
got
to
to be
be the
strong and
Phalanx or
beefy.
something else? Sorry, Shan. Sorry, Anna.
It has to be strong and beefy with a resistance 9. So
Tank.
nothing. I was
Beef
thinking more
chops.
Greek. I was thinking more Greek, like Hercules or something, but
Heracles class.
So a
okay.
phalanx.
Heracles, yeah, Heracles is Greek.
Chad class.
I was going to say the Atlas class were holding up the entire Federation.
Wow.
Yes.
Do they
That's
have
nice.
an Atlas class already? I don't think they do.
So a Festus, we just started shoving stuff together to see what works.
There is a Hercules class already.
Yeah.
So,
I
Atlas-
don't-
It looks to be a Warp 4 ship
there is an Atlas
that
class.
replaced the Daedalus.
There is. Okay.
I think. Let me just have a look. It might be. It's. Yeah, I'm just seeing where the information comes from on this.
Yep. Okay.
That's
Holding
a
on.
Dreadnought cruiser.
That's Catan. The Scale 5 Heavy Cruiser is the original Atlas class. Yeah.
You could use other mythology.
Yeah. Absolutely, you could. Just don't choose Sisyphus.
You could always refer back to a previous game some of us used to play and call it the Irony class.
Oh god.
let's not choose something that's too difficult to pronounce, like Jormungandr or something.
Ooh, I love the way you rolled those R's.
Ooh, is there a Thor class?
There's Artemis.
Artemis class. Hmm.
Yeah, I think there's actually an Artemis. Again,
The Odin class.
yeah, it's not.
Not that we're giving ourselves a false sense of superiority here, but let's go old Vata class.
Oh no, the Artemis class is Halo, not.
Okay.
I guess there is already an Ares.
I don't know actually.
Off-white class?
Harmon wants to go Deimos, but we're going to be that. We're going to strike fear into them.
Janus.
Phobos.
I've just called it Artemis class for now.
We
Doesn't
could have
to
the
stay that
Uranus.
way. Oh
It's the
dear.
last thing you'll ever see.
I can't stop cackling.
Was there actually a Titan class? So it's
No,
just
it was just the USS Titan. So
Ooh, Titan's good.
What about the Agamemnon?
that's a
Yeah, try and
bit of a
pronounce
mouth.
it. So after you've had a few. Titan class is memory beta. So there is one. 25th century science destroyer.
Because those go together so well.
Yep.
I will destroy you for science.
No, we use science to
overpowered-
destroy you.
An overpowered scientific weapon that's out of control and not to specification, the Guyver class.
I would say
Power
Gladys,
by
but fair
woman
enough.
So what about Hades?
Ooh,
Hades class, good lord.
yeah,
Alright.
we all work for that. Eyeshadow.
We're not running
the
on
Ajax
black
class?
unicorns.
It cleans up the mess.
Yeah, but also dies against Trojans.
The silent bang.
Oh dear lord.
Bang, and the enemy's gone.
Alright, so we haven't quite decided on the space frame class name yet.
And there's all the classics like Odysseus and so on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're not lost.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we go ironic and win the Titanic class.
Well, the one that proves it won't sink. You break the curse at last.
I wouldn't tempt that fate. I really
No,
wouldn't.
we
Well,
side
did-
with the
well,
we
it
side with the
actually does
winners.
work because we have had the three craft are the Carpathia, the Californian, and the Samson, which were the first three ships to attend the Titanic.
Yes, indeed. It
I
would
think
fit.
we should side with the winners. We'll call it the Iceberg class.
Of the letters class.
Alright. So we've gone through the comedy list, we've gone through the semi-serious list, and the that sounds like a good idea list. Have any of them stood out to anybody? Were there any definite favourites, besides the ability to just basically wear goth makeup when you go for the Hades class?
Well, never mind.
Can we call it the Neo Ober?
Neo
No.
Birth. How about the
It's also-
Anti-O-Birth?
Can we do a tribute to Final Fantasy and call it like Midgar class?
What were you thinking, Jan?
I was thinking Spartan, but I don't know.
Leonidas.
Leonidas.
Leonidas class.
The diabetes.
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 Yeah, diabetes.
That's my diabetes.
Oh dear God.
Hey, if you can't beat us, diabetes.
Dear grief.
Oh,
How about the Zagreus class?
I know why you're saying that, and no.
Hey, there are reasons that aren't Doctor Who related.
Lies.
It was a reincarnating god. Just like the Navis is reincarnating.
not the Kali class.
Kali. Well, I am Kali the Destroyer. Yeah, okay.
Him or a diplomatic ship.
Can we just call it the Claw Cat? Claw.
Lord class. Well, then I wouldn't be able to put anything against it because it would automatically win. But
We'll also go with something like Valhalla class, because when you enter the ship, you enter
Oh!
Valhalla.
No, Ragnarok. End of the world.
Ooh, Ragnarok! I like that.
Ragnarok class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 for Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
It seems like we might be winning with Ragnarok.
Ooh, And
Okay.
then we can name our shuttles like really cool Norse names too.
If that's what you want to do.
Thor.
I'm launching 4.
You're Thor, but it hurts.
It tastes awfully.
If you're Thor, then
Shuttles of
Sophia.
Thor and Loki.
They're always fighting.
Oh, I was about to say Munin and some. What's the other? I can't remember.
Haugen and
Munin
Maunin. Yes.
Hugin and Moonin.
Haugen, Maunin. Yes. Well, if you want to go
Ruben and
Odin
Clannad.
class again.
Oh, I've always liked
Forgot
the
Webby.
I've always liked the name of Odin's horse. Was it Sleipnir?
Oh, Sleipnir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we go for the Ratatoska class? Just
You
so
know,
we
having
can
a
set up
squirrel.
if that debate goes squirrel.
You can
Has
have
somebody
the
been playing
Ratatoska-
God of War, perchance?
No, Smite.
Might.
Smite.
Yeah, you can have a worker bee called Ratatoska.
Okay, I'm sold.
Blimey, we're being the Yggdrasil class at this point.
Oh
Oh, we could just switch religion and just go Gehenna.
no, I quite like the Idrisil class.
But if we
Yeah.
take that class, then we need a special propulsion system to travel between the worlds.
Which
We're
would
gonna
fit
have to
with
take
the
that
idea
dark
of.
matter ring.
You use the Rainbow Bridge propulsion system.
Well,
Oh God, is that we're going to start referring to the teleport unit as?
Super
It's like
is that how I spell it?
the tune. That was just the tune activate the Rainbow Bridge.
Yggdrasil, the World Tree. I got too many S's in it. Okay, that's fine. Correct that.
Because we can't spell it, but we can say that one easily.
I think there's 10 G's in it.
There's 2 G's, but only 1 D, 1 S, which I thought there was 2 S's. So there we are. Yggdrasil.
You
So
thought it-
everyone all right with the Yggdrasil class?
Yes.
Okay, that was a winner. Okay, quite proud of that one. So,
And we use the Bifrost drive.
well,
Yep, the dark matter version 2, the Bifrost drive. I like that.
it's all coming together, folks. So, this weaves us back to... just fill in the obvious starship trait, which is Federation starship, although my ability to actually type seems to be in question. There we go. Got there eventually. This finally brings us back to the technical test bed, I think.
Why, out of interest, is there the Yggdrasil class? Oh, you've made the template for the Yggdrasil.
Yes,
Okay.
so just in case
Sorry.
we want to bring in sister ships at some point with a different mission profile.
Imitators.
Well,
Oh, they have a Y here.
so let's go
Welcome
back
to North.
So, technical test bed was the mission profile that was chosen. Therefore, let's put the numbers in, unless Webby's already on it, which he seems to be.
I'd
with
already,
the designation.
I'd already done it on the template that was on the screen, but yeah, not the actual master template, because you know, Webby is clever.
That's a good point, actually. I do need to link them, so let me change that quickly then, because if I've just changed it on the 1, I need to change it on the 2. I need to link you both up so that anything that happens links. There we go.
So, just nobody call Claude a troll, because
Troll at the console.
Troll on the con!
Oh,
God, that's so troll.
Yes?
right. I know what the shuttles need. The shuttles and subcraft need to be named after. The 9 realms. Then you've got.
Fine. Svartalfheim.
Yep.
Vanaheim.
hell,
Okay. Hell. Yeah.
Jotunheim.
well,
Alright, we're working on a theme here. I like it. See, there we go.
Are we taking the Bifrost anti dark
Additional-
matter drive then?
Any
we don't have
objections?
to.
It doesn't have to work.
I like the sort of like the flavour of this ship now, though, with having a Bifrost dark matter drive.
Any objections? Going once.
Oh.
Going twice. Sold for additional propulsion.
Propulsion system.
We'll call it the Bifrost drive.
Bifrost
Like-
dark matter drive.
So let's just fill that in.
I'll change it if you want.
Doop, 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 doop.
Well, and the chief engineer has to go by Hyamdale from now on.
So it's the BDMD.
Which is very
Thanks,
close to
Marvel.
another acronym that we won't name. But, okay. Obey the Prime Directive. Alright. Okay, this is all coming together very nicely now. Bifrost Dark Matter Drive. Nice, 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 nice. Lots and lots of shields, 1.5 tons of power. Everybody happy with the stats of the
Captain
ship
only
so
has
far?
one eye.
Well, yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Seems fated almost, doesn't it?
I have 2 eyes. It's just one of them.
Not for
is
very long.
mine.
We'll fix it.
Aye.
Indeed. Right. Okay. So we now have to. Well, let's add in the launch bay. So the first thing we've got is the Samson, which of which there's only one. There can be only one. You've got basically as many scale 2 or lower ships as you have ship scale. So the Navis previously had a shuttlecraft, or 6 shuttlecraft, 1 runabout, a worker bee, and attack fighters because it had the expansive shuttle bays. So you won't have that many, but you still have 6. So 1 attack fighter, 1 runabout. as you scale
And the
2
worker
ships. Go on. Worker bees, yep. I want worker bees too.
I think we're going to have to rename the Samson.
Well, yeah, you certainly can. So that's 4 so far, which gives you 2 for shuttlecraft, and of course you guys can shuffle those numbers however you like. I mean, if that number looks good, or if you want to modify it somewhat, that's entirely your prerogative. So, this is looking more and more complete now. Cool, cool, cool. Nice, nice, nice.
Good looking. Yeah.
Good looking ship. Now we can get on to the quirks and the traits. So, am I assuming that since you've kind of had a hand in its creation, this will still have cat runs in it?
I think so.
Okay. The Viber's Latude protocol will still be a thing?
I think that's crew specific, so yeah, that one definitely would go across.
You will have the rapid response shields thing, because that was hooked right into Andrew's and Fazanan's. Bionics, that was the word I was trying to look for. So that was your rapid response shields trait. And of course, as the creators of the sound cannon, it would be foolish to not take that with you too. So I will let that come over.
Base for the program, because my next idea is to create mines that just lock in, that basically just magnet on, that's untied. Magnetic mines that attach to a ship and just inject a program that basically creates whatever's noise is loud enough compared to depending on the system. Basically, it matches species that it does a self-selecting thing. At least that's what I'm thinking.
That quite a nice extension onto the holographic torpedo, because it's the same delivery system, just different payload setup. That gives you halfway there.
Almost like we're living on a prayer.
Halfway there. Matt, can you just do me a favour and just delete the 2 tokens? I'm just checking to make sure the picture's updated.
I will do that in a moment. I'm just copying over the sound guns statistics and description.
I think maybe we should call the Samson Hilder, or one of the other Valkyrie names.
Oh,
Yes.
what was the name of the first berserker?
I don't know, sorry.
I was trying to think. I thought that should be something.
Well, bye-bye, Navis. Let's bring in the Navis-A. You should be linked, you are. Cool. Alright, so we are working on traits. Now, having brought those traits over since they were crew-specific, do we now want to think of an interesting quirk that the ship has, or maybe multiple quirks?
I think that where we've got the anti-grav torus, or the dark matter torus, is that there is a gravity pocket, or anti-grav pocket. So the entire deck that it's on, there's an anti-gravity section on it, so that you actually can't. The grav plates don't work.
What do other people think? Or do they have their own suggestions as to funny quirks that could go into the ship?
How about we always stop for hot Andorans?
But then you'd never go anywhere because Caval's right there.
That's not a ship feature.
Yeah, that's
that's
not
a
shit.
crew. That's a command crew problem.
Yeah,
It's
right.
also something we don't tend to move when you're in charge of the comm.
I think it should have bio-neural gel packed computer nodes, because that will make Bertram happy. And I can start fiddling with them.
The left-hand blink is always on, no matter what we do.
We're always, even when perfectly navigating, we always drift lazily to the left. Kamal's constantly pressing the right button on his keyboard to stop it from drifting.
To the point where he's actually got one of those like dipping.
Oh, the dippy, so like a pecking dog.
Dippy beak things. So it's always course correcting.
Experimental fuses. Whenever something should explode, something else explodes on the bridge instead.
What?
Interesting.
So when a console's supposed to go wrong, it's like, we've got no piloting. The science console explodes, and you see sparks flying out of cloaks. Why? Because there's something wrong on the helm.
Or we could go against Starfleet convention and have proper working fuse boxes. So whenever one of our computer panels or terminals blows up, instead of exploding and killing the person working on it, it just cuts the power. You know, like the fuses that we have in the 21st century.
Are you telling me that we should be wiring these consoles up with cables, not high-powered lethal plasma that can kill you if you pull the coating off?
I'm just saying that Starfleet in like the 24th or 11th century should actually have panels that people using them in battle situation have a better than 50% chance of surviving hitting a button.
Yes.
I have to go Red Dwarf is like every time we go to a different alert, we have to change the bulbs.
Dude, this is a class 6 ship with like a crew of nearly 1,000 people. Can you imagine the amount of bulbs you have to change?
No, we could have that. We could have that as the quirk, is that the bridge colours are wrong. So whenever we do red alert, it black alerts. And it cannot be fixed. There is no reasoning behind it. Is that it carries on with the bulb colours.
Okay, here's a quirk for the ship. The bridge is in the wrong place. Where the bridge...
That would make sense.
It's at the bottom of the saucer, not the top of the saucer.
It's at the bottom of the saucer rather than the top, and on the top is a bar.
I was going to say it's next to the reactor by accident.
So anyone who looks at the ship goes, they're drinking on the bridge?
Vimer's personal thing.
Can we get iPads instead of pads? Well,
Yeah, you know how like it's always
multiple
they
pads,
show, like,
yeah.
12 pads. I mean, I've got a whole library on my iPad. I don't need 12 different devices.
No, you can have a library on one. What it is every single subordinate on your way to the bridge gave you their report on a different tablet.
That's probably it, actually.
You know what? Could they just email it?
You
then
wanted
you wouldn't
it
look
quick.
like you're busy.
How about the view screen only? The view screen only works in black and white.
Which is interesting because it's a hologrammatical view screen. So the color rendering on the holograms are just non-existent. We've got a lot of fun, silly things going on here.
Ship lighting goes weird whenever we go to warp. The ship goes black and white at warp speed.
The ship goes. Well, the ship could actually go monochrome when you utilize the Bifrost drive.
Or for special effects purposes, it's like a rainbow thing coming out the back of the ship.
I was going to say, we don't have one colour alert, we have all of them. It just goes disco strobes.
Yeah, the light cycle. Yeah.
Yes.
The light cycle. We announce red alert, and it goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, red, 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 red.
I like that one actually. Tell you what, I've put a little description box for quirks. Feel free to well, it depends which ones you actually think are fun enough to put in. We've had quite a few silly ones, and they're all funny. But which quirks do we think actually add some character to this ship?
I think that the rainbow light system is kind of like one of those things that someone in Starfleet Command will have gone, yes, it would alert the entire crew that they know that there's an alert bit sounding, etc. And then it's actually implemented into the field, and it's the most stupid idea that senior management has had.
I've got one to go with that. Right? It was designed just like the Luna. This has a Frosian in the leadership of the setup, and it gives status reports in the beeps on the red alert. So all the sounds you hear on the ship are actually status reports in various systems. So it's constantly full of background noise that means something, but we don't know what it is because we don't speak Frosian.
Man, hello, Universal
Fortunately,
Translator.
we have universal translators.
It's not a language. It's communication. It's like songs and things. It's not translating it. It's background noise.
Oh my god.
Of Frosian.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Well, all of a sudden, I just imagine during a red alert, you get Klingon opera going off.
This is actually background fluff for the Titan series of books, where the designer is a Frosian, and they have this whole idea of verbal history.
Right.
So all of the specs for the ship is this background music, and everyone's annoyed because this guy sits to listen to music all day and doesn't seem to get the work done.
Having read through the Destiny series of Next Generation Beta Canon books, I think I know who you're talking about. Nevertheless, the Roy G. Biv alarm system. Okay. We've got a nice rainbow dance of colours when an alert happens. Okay, cool.
As well as the computer, when you activate it, the computer goes, alert status changing. Alert status changing. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Red has been selected. Red alert.
Can I do that in an accent?
Computer has an accent. There we go. There's another one.
Ooh, give me a United States Southern accent. No, it's going to get bad.
No, it's Picard. Someone's thought the ship needed class. They gave it Picard's voice, and then Picard turns up.
The most English French person you will ever hear.
Yeah.
Oh
Dear.
It's
Glaswegian.
Oh god.
You'd never understand it.
It swears at you, but it refuses to understand any commands that aren't in a Scots accent.
Look at you, wee bastards!
Any of you got an iron brewer? I'm gonna play me bagpipes.
Intruder alert! That means there's somebody that shouldn't be here!
Get to it!
You get it to do what you want by bribing it with a Scotch egg.
We apologise to all of our Scottish viewers right the hell now.
The Scotch egg was invented by Fortnum and Masons in London in 1834.
Bribe it with the Scotch egg.
Right, so we got the Roy G. Biv alarm system. The alert system goes to the spectrum prior to finalising on actual alert. Did we want to stick with the maybe not the entire deck, but maybe the area where the dark matter torus has no gravity for whatever reason? No. Okay. Well,
I quite like that one with the using the dark matter torus causes a gravity problem.
Yeah, that
or a
was
gravity effect, because then you can change it per time if you want to.
Yeah, you could also have it as when it comes out of using the Bifrost dark matter drive, is that there is a fraction of a second where the gravity is slightly off. So it can either be positive gravity or negative gravity.
So everybody braces themselves to see what happens next. They're either going to get
We have
squished
to
in
put
their
the
chairs.
seatbelts on.
Yeah.
One of those additional safety measurements that we took out as long with fuses because we don't need them.
The
So
thing
I'm gonna
Star
need to
Trek
find
doesn't
it.
have seatbelts and pockets.
Well, seatbelts on a starship kind of don't make sense. If you need them, the gravity system's failed enough that you're going to be
Jam.
liquid against the wall.
I mean, the amount of times I've seen Data faceplant his console, I think there might be an idea though.
Designed from the unit of crossfield spore drive, this drive core replaces the rotating saucer section with a dark matter torus anchored to the center of the saucer section with its own contained chamber to mitigate damage from external sources. Nice.
This is why we don't have a captain's yacht.
Well, if I go
but it
down,
does
you're all
mean-
coming with me.
But it does mean our saucer section has a faster than light drive in it.
And that would be the extra. Actually, that's a good point. You wanted one of the traits to be has 2 warp cores, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, we've got 6 now, haven't we? 2, 4, 6. So we'd have to get rid of 1. We've got them anyway. We've got the secondary reactor.
you do have the secondary reactor as additional power generation. So in that case, it could actually be a secondary warp core. So yeah, okay. We could read it like that.
So that's what we
Spiffy.
said with the Navis, is that it had 2 cores.
Right, okay, so if everybody's fine with those quirks, and we've got the cat run, the Latude protocol, the sound weapon, we've put in the additional propulsion system, and we've worked it into the Yggdrasil class, we've got the Bifrost drive. Nice! I'm not sure what there is left to do now, except, well, I did have a go at creating the new bridge, but because I'm lacking in the ability to design a bridge effectively in something like Dungeon Draft. Just can't quite get the hang of it. I know Jan did do something rather funky looking in what was it you used? What tool did you use again? Sorry, Jan?
RPG Stories.
RPG Stories. I, however, just plain old found a somebody's rendering of a sovereign bridge, and I kind of like it because it's very big and it shows just how many folks you guys have got.
Wow.
So that's your supporting cast as well as your main cast, and I've not even included every single one of them. So I personally like this bridge layout because it's got plenty of space and gives a really good idea as to how big your new ship is. If you don't like it, we can go with something else, of course.
I did like what Jan had designed. I think that was...
What's up? The only thing else, sorry, go on.
It's the first time I've got somebody sitting next to me.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's changed the thing around. And I'll also note that engineering now has a lower and an upper area. So the image I got for them wasn't that awesome, and it's a lot of empty space. But again, it gives us the idea that this is a huge dang ship. We can start filling it with engineering personnel and whatnot. And the upper deck is more or less the same, looking down on the lower deck. But we've just got a couple
Bring
of
in the
extra
next layer
consoles
of
up here to
crewmen.
the north. What was that, sorry, Alex?
Bring in the next layer of crewmen.
Yeah. So, plenty to do. So, if folks are willing to go with this bridge,
We'll cross it when it comes to it.
very good. Then, I suppose...
Doctor, I didn't know you were on the bridge.
Notice how generic your secondary tactical officer is looking down on Dr. Bertram at all times.
Yeah, Dr. Bertram has sometimes seen him sort of like peering at him and has sent him, you look like you have problems with your eyes and sight. Would you like to come down to sickbay for an eye test?
At which point, Jealous Gene, that's what we'll call him from now on, Jealous Gene,
Jealous Gene.
Jelly Gene.
uses the opportunity to snoop around sickbay to see if he can find any evidence of these.
Honestly, if he finds any evidence of the Doctor's personal life, it's going to be the Doctor is utterly uninterested in any sort of personal relationship like that.
Most boring man he's ever met. Like, my God, what does Jenny see in him? He's boring.
Because apparently Bertram doesn't see anything in her like that.
I've included Luchude up here, I mean, even though he won't technically be on the bridge, and technically Bertram is in what accounts for the counsellor's seat, but, you know, counsellor's medical personnel anyway, and Bertram's got psychology now, so, you know. Obviously, your Nurse Bravo wouldn't be here either, but it's a neat way of having the extra, some of the extra supporting cast up here, more or less where they would be. Chief Engineer has got a post by there, and then the engineering stations are for some reason over here, and then way the hell over here. Likewise, Chief of Science has got that, and the other science seatings are here, and here, and here. So they do really distribute them across the bridge. On the Enterprise E's deck plan, there wasn't actually a space on the bridge for comms, so I just kind of had to guess and put Keshen by there. You've got the two tactical consoles, you've got the first officer with an even bigger console than he had before. I mean, Ori has got this huge console for himself now, to manage himself. Obviously...
What about the size of the console?
Obviously, Lenny and Unit Hello wouldn't be hovering around here. Or maybe Lenny would. I mean, Lenny hovers around Fazanan all the time.
Can I have my chair back, please, boss?
Fazanan turns around for a second and Lenny's pressing buttons like...
Let me fly the ship, boss. Let me just fly the ship one time. Because apparently Lenny has gone from, you know, Cation Russian to southern states of America. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, and so we got
the one with
another,
right neighbourly.
Another general science view at the back. So, if folks are okay with using this as the bridge from here on in,
Yeah.
cool.
And
Then, I believe we have succeeded. We have created the Navis-A, unless, of course, we want to rename it. But then we wouldn't be able to call our episodes Star Trek Navis.
The fact that
Your call,
Navis
guys.
started out as a joke.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, it's called the USS ship. I think we should still keep it as the Navis.
yeah.
Aye, she's a beaut. She's a very strong name, even though it's a joke name.
It's Latin for ship.
It's a joke.
Starfleet was singularly unimaginative that day. What can we call it? Oh, I can't be bothered with all this naming business. What
I
should
bet
we
it's
call
the
it?
same it's the same admiral that came up with the fucking Roy Gabiv alarm system. It's like,
They'll never go
It's a
for it.
glitch in
Captain-
somebody's translator.
Yeah.
I found its previous registration before it got assigned to us.
Well, post
it's
it
the
somewhere
USS
so we
Roy
can see that.
Gabiv.
No, it's the USS Oberth Z.
The USS Oberth Z.
It's named after an old country from a few centuries ago. It's the USS US.
Well, I have to say, the cat run on this ship is going to be absolutely freaking enormous. You probably won't see Nova for days.
I can only hope.
All things
That's a
considered.
bit harsh.
I get it.
Jesus. Right. We know he was on flipping latrine duty for the next 4 months. Disrespecting a senior officer.
So I guess
Nevertheless.
the only question now is, going back to something Matt said earlier, who of us are going to use those large milestones to add a cloaking device?
Yeah, this is the thing. Folks have got large milestones. This would be an
Don't
ideal
think I
opportunity. It does go back to the question I posed earlier, which was, are you going to have an inclusive ship now in order to represent the whole Narendra Station spirit thing? Are you going to have Klingon officers on your ship now as well, or
Well,
what?
Akul wanted to get rid of his engineering chief, didn't he? Because he wanted a hello. So you know, it's just like he gets mocked and bubbled.
Well, you know, this is your show, guys. What do you think? What would
I
you
think
like to
it
do?
should be, but then it means that the scene it wouldn't work canonically with the bridge crew because all the bridge crew are human.
We're not all human. Some of us are cats.
Okay, okay. So most, sorry, we're all changelings apart from Edwards, who's human. So,
Out of our bridge crew, is it the only humans Andrews and Edwards?
Yeah.
Bertram,
Bertram's not human, he's
no,
Moss.
he's a boss, he's a boss man.
Well, he's human, but he also spends more time in sickbay than on the bridge. I think Matt generally has him on the bridge because then it's easier to
Yes.
do any rolls that I need.
No, you definitely made him Moss.
Boss man.
Your
Everybody
face is
loves
beaten
Boss
boss.
Yeah,
Only because I
actually,
went to sick bay.
yeah,
Or would
majority
we
of the
keep
bridge
this
crew
stuff?
isn't actually human. Yeah, of senior bridge staff, Andrews is the only human.
So, would we think it would be easier just to keep this a Starfleet vessel, especially on the
I
war
think
footing
it's
this
Starfleet vessel, but at the same time, there's going to be some additional Klingon crew that have been, seconded on to supplement the role because it's going from
Yeah.
500 to 1,000 people.
So is Starfleet still under that annoying remit that we're not allowed cloaking devices unless we have like a babysitter
exemption.
from a race that has the ability to have cloaking devices on their ships? God, that was weird.
It's because we lost the war.
We lost the war, the Romulans went, now we can conquer the Starfleet, but instead we'll let them govern themselves, we won't conquer them, but they have to promise not to use cloaking devices.
Well, it appears to be that's how most civilized societies tend to approach war. It's usually not one side wins, it's they reach the point where they finally sit down and talk and then offer concessions. So it makes a certain degree of sense. But anyway, going back to what we
Treaty
were
of
driving
Alderaan,
at.
isn't it?
Yeah. There is, going back to the landing page once again, so we can get at the ship. There is room for one more talent that can be bought using somebody's large milestone if they want to donate it. Likewise, large milestones can be used to up systems and departments. If
Does
they want to.
Ori have any?
You have earned your one and only, and you used it.
Okay, well, sorry.
I don't mind
Andrews.
spending a large milestone when I get one, but I'm out at the
You've
minute.
used all of yours,
Yeah.
as has Viber's used one of theirs, but I noticed that in the character notes, Thazanan has used 4 out of 6 large milestones. Bertram has used 2 out of 6 large milestones. Edwards has
Really need
used
to
2
start
out
using
of
my
5
large
life milestones. Nova has used 2 out of 6 large milestones, so there's certainly room if you want to. You don't have to, of
Only
course.
2 out of 6.
I just do it.
How is it that I've got 6 milestones? I've only used 2 and I somehow haven't noticed this.
That's why I keep track of them.
You're too busy
It's
with
the
Is that
moth.
what I've
You
got
are
the
too
most,
busy with the boss, yeah.
yeah, have I got the most unused milestones? Because if I
No.
did, I think it's only fair. Who's that?
No, Sean and yourself are the 2 who haven't used the most milestones. Large ones.
I'm willing to donate one for a cloaking device. Whether or not we want a Klingon babysitter is up to you guys.
It would then give the thing to take a course engineering officer on board.
And it might give us an unexpected advantage against those Orion pirates, and also the actual Orion pirates.
What do folks think?
Yes.
Can do.
That's 2 yeas. I'd a can do.
I suggest it, so count that as a yay.
We won't call it cloaking. Let's call it something else.
Phase shift. Yeah, it's the Federation Phase Shift Drive. Oh no, wait,
Yeah.
that's illegal.
I would donate all of my for remaining large milestones if we got the Pegasus face cloak.
I'm gonna preempt that with a big old no, I'm afraid.
What if we rename it the Moss face cloak?
It's the Yggdrasil phase cloak.
No, it's the Icarus face cloak.
Yes, because then it'll melt everything. Right, yeah, that's how we'll do
Icarus
it.
cloaking device.
You can't see us because we're melting you.
No, they can't see us because we're melting in a different phase. It's like,
So, Gareth wants to use one of his large milestones earned in order to give the ship a cloaking device. Is everybody on board with this idea?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've got no qualms if he's happy to spend a large milestone for it.
That is the
Oh, it's either that
last.
or the deluxe galley.
It is the last talent that can be taken for this ship, which, you know, wow. But that would justify having Klingon crewmates on board, absolutely
Yeah.
it would. So it would be a nice little touch. Okay.
Is Nova alright with it? Because we know she's not a big fan of the Klingons. She doesn't hang around with them much.
Well, Sean, have your say. You cool with the cloaking device?
Yeah, no problems.
Excelente. All right then. Unanimous agreement
As long
almost.
as long as we can get a Gorn on the bridge to control it.
God.
Because then we have a dinosaur standing next to the Rockman.
Yeah, okay.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh no.
It's,
Godzilla!
they're controlled by the Klingons at this point in time.
Yeah, I think... Where was the... I need to check that now.
The Gorn got invaded and conquered by the Klingons before next gen, I think.
Just double checking that. The Gorn Klingon War happened in 2386 to 2403, so it's not happened yet.
Ooh, interesting.
So you can note to self, have the
Interesting.
Gorn Klingon war.
All
Nevertheless,
started because of a scuffle on a starship bridge.
Between a Rockman and a dinosaur.
all right. Are there going to be any more donations of large milestones to any of the ship's systems or departments? As a way of giving it a
Thinking
boost.
about it. Thinking about it.
I can hear it. Well, okay. We don't necessarily have to do that right the hell now. But with what we've got in front of us, are folks happy?
Yes.
Because this looks really cool to me. I'm really excited for this, I gotta say, I gotta admit. It's a massive, massive ship. So, you guys are going to be getting a chuckload of additional crew. A good many of those might end up being Klingons, actually. So, they will
Just
be...
grabbing anyone off of the starbase, except for the people that work in flight control, because they seem to have a mole
Well,
or moles.
indeed, and we will address that issue when we get to it. But for the meantime, this has been quite fun putting this together, for me at least. This is quite a unique ship. I like it. Now, as a result of the dearth, shall we say, of Starfleet specific maps, battle maps and whatnot that are available out there that aren't already like Enterprise E stuff, I will more than likely still use the majority of the maps that we've used so far. Obviously the main change is going to be for the bridge and engineering section, so we'll rehash those, but transporter room, shuttle bay, ready room, conference room, those can all probably stay, even though they would look somewhat different.
I have a ready room.
You do? You just not used it all that much, in fact.
Oh.
Badum. I had it right there, but it was for... You can see how far back it is, because we've still got Dukas there. Actually, you can't see anything, can you?
Yeah, unless you...
Configure... Global illumination.
We're currently all still on the landing page, so...
Let me activate that.
We need some Bolians. They're hot.
They are warm-blooded. Are they cold-blooded Bolian? No, they're warm-blooded, aren't they? Yeah, they're the warm-blooded blue aliens.
I think they're cold-blooded blue aliens because they live in deserts.
I
Which is
see
why
nothing
we'll
on
need-
the map. There is no
Still see nothing because there's nobody there.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Configure lightning, no token vision.
If you get a Bolian...
Set the activated uncloaking
Android,
device.
They will be confused as all hell.
Okay, what I am going to need... So, you guys seem to have based this on... What I can do is complete an actual sentence.
Oops, sorry.
Is I will probably get a hold of a Sovereign class's deck plan. And so, obviously, things I did before with the Navis, which were seeing which deck got hit and whatnot, I will have to change because now we're in a different ship with different deck plans. So we will get to that in order to make that more accurate later. Other things that might need changing, well, the actual maps themselves of floors and places inside of the new Navis will have to be rejigged, but for the most part it's just changing the numbers. Sickbay will look very familiar because it'll basically be using the same map template. But overall, it's a very cool new ship. Wicked. So that was how you use the Utopia Planetia Shipyard supplement book to create a brand new ship design. Based it off of the Phalanx, but made it our own and made it the Yggdrasil class. So that is very cool. It's even got a cloaking device, which means we have Klingons. They may not be on the starboard bow, they're in amongst the ship.
And we have all their quarters on the starboard side.
No, in the port nacelle.
Well, the port nacelle is now somebody else's problem because that ship's been put into...
No, it isn't, because we take the port... We give them the Navis, and then Vibers and the engineering team go and look at the port nacelle, and they're like, oh my god, it's here.
Yeah, it just manifested itself.
Captain, I have something to report. I now know what's happened to the port nacelle that was left behind at Denobula.
So it just assimilated itself onto the new ship.
It's been used as part of this ship's refit and construction process.
Part of the ore was smelted down to be used as part of the central computer. It's God's sentience.
Well, they established in Strange New Worlds, I think it was season 2, the crossover episode with Lower Decks, that every ship of a name usually has part of the previous ship in them.
Oh dear.
So that could be how the port nacelle found its way onto the to the Navis-A.
We're all gonna die.
We have a port nacelle And we've got half a computer core.
Oh, that reminds me. That's actually Unit Hello has now got probably its own section of the science wing now. Lucky devil. Right. So, final word. Everybody seems happy with that. Is there anything you'd like to change or add to?
What color is the carpet?
Whatever colour you want.
As long as it's grey.
Does the carpet match the drapes?
It does.
Thank you for that, Alex. Okie dokie.
There's one thing that I'm still not happy with. We still need to change the name of the fighter.
Yeah. We do need to change the sample, don't we?
Well, now's a good time. What do you want to go change it to?
Well, we didn't keep Ragnarok, so.
Oh, if the old was Samson, we could call it Delilah.
Or did we want to use actual people's names, significant people from?
Can we call it something like something nice and fluffy, like Buttercup? Lodge the Buttercup.
Garma, the dog of hell. Nah, I can't say that.
How about pectine?
Oh, grammar, you mean? Pardon me.
Yeah.
How about pectine? It's Latin for shuttle. It worked for that bit.
It would fit the theme. Have a think. I mean, do people want to do that now, or are people kind of creatively exhausted now?
Or how about scalpere? It's Latin for scratch.
Tear?
What was that, Davis?
Tear?
Tier. Okay.
Ooh, dear. That's a good one.
Thoughts? Going once?
Actually, well, Twin Moons, Phobos Deimos, fear and terror.
It would. If I can form actual words, that would be a good one. It's more along the lines of theme. If we're sticking to a Norse-themed ship class.
It's Norse. Sorry, I'm going through. Was it Hugin and Munin? Sorry.
Oh, my boys.
Sorry, I forgot I forgot. My mind completely switched. I don't know why I switched. But no, yes, that's what I was more trying to reach for.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where is it? Where is it?
You looking for your book on Norse mythology?
Not quite. I'm looking for my book, my Tom Holt book of Valhalla. Because, what's his face? The guy who is the talent agent for the gods would be a really good one.
For the attack ship or for the runabout?
Attack ship, because it'd be funny.
Okay. Well, I'm interested, so.
Okay. Right. Courtright.
The talent scout for the gods.
Yeah. He gets paid a commission by all the gods for the various bits of work and things that go on. Unfortunately, they don't pay him money, so he has a landscaping firm.
Alright, final thoughts then. What do peeps actually want to name this ship, or should we just keep it the Samson?
Give it a chance to think. I think I've just realised that for years, I've always got Freya and Freya mixed up.
Freya and
So you've got
Freya. Yes.
Yeah, goddess of love, lust, fertility, and war, and then Freya, peaceful god of farming, fertility, peace, wealth, and sexual vitality. I thought it was one and the same.
If you want to get really funny, Frigg and Freya may be the same person or not, so, you know. It's been a while since I've read the Prose Edda, actually. I'll have to get it back out. Anywhoops, I'm getting the... well, I'm getting the general impression that folks are pretty much done.
Yep.
So,
Cloaking device, that's the best thing.
we've got the cloaking device, and that's what matters.
Yep.
So, yes, this now continues the story of the Navis crew in a very interesting way. This has been quite nice. I like it. And we've got ourselves a much bigger badass ship. So, moving forward, this is what's going to happen. Cool. But, as far as building a new ship using the Utopia Planetia Sourcebook, this has been pretty much it. So I'm going to say that's where we're going to finish for tonight. There's not enough time left in our session to actually get properly started on any kind of episode or story, so probably best if we leave that to next week, as long as everybody here is available same time next week for the 19th.
Yep. Yes.
Should be.
Excelente.
I believe so.
What was that, sorry?
I believe I am.
You believe you are? Okay, cool. So if that changes, make sure to let us know. In the meantime, though, this has been our impromptu trip to the Utopia Planetia shipyards to get ourselves a new ship. And she's a beauty. But that will have to do for tonight. So to everybody who did actually tune into the stream, thank you very much for doing so. I hope you found this relatively interesting, if not silly and entertaining for all the right reasons. And thank you to my guys, as usual, for putting themselves into this and for being so dang entertaining whilst doing it. So we've still got a little bit of work ahead of us, but that's mostly just the small details now, like the number of decks, where things are on said decks, and of course naming our runabouts and attack craft according to the theme that we've gone with. So, for now, we will just say live long and prosper, and make sure that you do what the Vulcans do, which in this case is build a spanking new ship, but also to engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Look after yourselves, treat each other with the respect that everybody deserves, and, well, we will see you next week with the new spangling Navis. The intro sequence will probably not change until we get from Season 3 to Season 4, which things will be hotting up for Season 4, let me tell you. But in the meantime, we won't probably see the new Navis show on the intro video until Season 4, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thank you very much for tuning in, folks. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed it, then feel free to give us a like so that it helps other folks as well as ourselves with our Lord and Master, the algorithm. All hail the algorithm. Meantime, and if you want to know when we get when we drop our videos, then, you know, subscribe and hit the notification button. In the meantime, we will see you when we see you next. Hailing frequencies are now closed.